Clear the air to supersize and grow your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. I love Febreze and Lysol. I don't know if anybody besides me is sick of the smell of disinfectants in their home since 2020 and the pandemic, but I certainly am. So I like to switch it up and have different varieties of air fresheners in the house. But often we need to clear the air. If we cook and we burn something, we may need to open the windows to clear the air. Clear the air, this idiom, this expression has actually been around since 1380 when John Wycliffe used it, and the phrase actually comes from nature. It refers to when there's a storm or there's dust and clouds or there's fog. The sun will come out and nature will burn off or clear the air, and instead of it being foggy or hard to see, it clears up and we have nice blue skies and beautiful clear looking air again. So on fuzzy days or misty days or foggy days, we've all woken up and it's been foggy outside. At least I think all of us have. I actually have hundreds of times, and the sun will come out and burn off the fog, and all of a sudden we have a clear, beautiful day. So this idiom, this expression, taken from nature, means about the same thing for our businesses. It means to get rid of bad feelings between people or groups. It means to explain a misunderstanding or discuss a situation in order to reduce the tension or the stress related to that situation. It means to remove doubts. So how do we use this? How do we clarify? How do we clear the air in our business? Every one of us makes mistakes, right? We all make mistakes. We all screw up sometimes. And how do we go about making that right? How do we apologize and make a messed up situation right? Because we all make bad choices. We all say things we don't mean sometimes. And it's how we handle those situations after we've done that thing we wish we hadn't done, or said that thing we wish we hadn't said. How do we handle it? How do we make it right? How we do that matters almost more than the fact that we made a mistake in the first place, because we all make mistakes. We're all human. So curious today, how do you make things right? How do you clarify things? How do you clear the air? How do you make things more clear and clear-cut? How do you communicate those things, especially the difficult situations in your organization? I learned a long time ago that I had to learn how to apologize and make things right, do the right thing, because I made a lot of mistakes earlier on in different businesses, and I still do it today because we all do. I will make a mistake, and I think the biggest thing is admitting that you made a mistake and not trying to make excuses or blame it on someone else, but saying, oh my gosh, I totally screwed up my thinking on that, and this is what you might want to explain what you were thinking or not. If it doesn't matter, don't bother, but if it does, then you should explain, but don't explain in a way that makes it feel like you're trying to push the blame on someone else. Take responsibility. One of the best things leaders can do is take responsibility for our actions, and that's the things we do right, but also the things we mess up and do wrong. A lot of times we make wrong calls in our business. We go down the wrong road, and we can keep going down it and dig the hole deeper and deeper, or we can say, oh, stop, hold the phone, I made a mistake, we need to go back and rethink this. That shows that you have the ability to change and grow just like you want everyone else to do in your organization. Recently, and I know we've all had these experiences too, where we've been dealing with a business and we think the business is wrong and they made a mistake, and as customers we expect to be treated fairly in the business to make things right. And this wasn't my experience, but a business owner friend of mine, his ego got involved and he actually did the opposite of what he should have done, and he ended up losing customers because of this, because he dug in his heels and didn't want to refund somebody's money or give them a partial discount. He didn't want to let go of any of the money when that would have just made it right. Instead, he made excuses, he blamed other things, he dug in his heels because his ego said, no, we're not wrong, the customer isn't right in this situation. When you dig your heels in, when you forget to be open and look at all the sides of the situation, you won't do the right thing. You'll do what you think is right for your business, but if it's not right for the customers, guess what? That can cause huge ramifications down the line. Because it only takes one dissatisfied person, because they always tell like 100 people. They don't just tell one or two, they tell 100 people. And just like the telephone game, the story starts out one way and the way the person might have told it, but it gets convoluted along the way. And so instead of losing a couple of customers, this business might lose literally hundreds of customers. It's in a small town. It can happen. People talk. Word of mouth spreads both in a positive and a negative way. And I say the negative ones spread a whole lot faster than the positive. So we need to be able to clear the air, make things right, and think about the long-term ramifications of digging our heels in and letting our ego take control of a situation, when we should take a step back and say, okay, if this had happened to me this exact same way, how would I want to be treated? And if you do that, chances are you'll do the right thing by your customers. All right, love to hear your stories about clearing the air. What's your favorite way to clear the air in your business when there's a misunderstanding or people have hurt feelings? Because it happens in all of our organizations, no matter how awesome a culture we're creating. Share your stories, and I will be with you tomorrow with another communication-related idiom for the rest of the month to coincide with this year's BU 365-day annual challenge to do one thing every day that improves us. And learning how to clear the air, learning how to make things right is an example of how we can become a better version of ourselves, a better leader, and so it ties perfectly with the annual challenge. All right, have an awesome day. I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.